Welcome to Lento English. Ready to level up your English? Here we learn through stories, slow, clear, and fun. Listen, relax, and enjoy the journey.
One introduction. Imagine a place that is a hot island. It is near the part of the world called the equator. The sun is very strong here. The air feels warm and wet. Now think about this island as a big city. It has many tall buildings and long roads. People are busy everywhere. This city is called Singapore. When a city has many buildings and roads, it can get even hotter. Buildings are often made of materials that hold the sun's heat. Cars and buses also make heat. All this makes the city warmer than the land around it. It's like a concrete jungle that feels very hot. The world is getting warmer. This is a problem for many places. For a hot city like Singapore, the heat is a big challenge. High temperatures can make life uncomfortable. They can even be bad for people's health. So the people in Singapore want to make their city cooler. They are asking a big question. How can a city like Singapore fight against the rising heat? What can they do to make the city a cooler place to live and work? This is not an easy question. It needs clever ideas and hard work. It needs people to think about science and how cities are built. In this story, we will learn about Singapore's plan to become a cooler city. We will see how they are using new ideas and old ideas to lower the temperature. We will look at different ways they are trying to beat the heat. We will learn about science that helps us understand why cities get hot. We will learn about planning that helps people build cities in a better way. This journey will show us how one city is working to make a difference. Singapore is a city that is trying hard to be a good place for its people, even when it is very hot. Their ideas can help other cities in the world too. It is a story about science, planning, and hope for a cooler future. We will start by understanding why cities get hot. Then we will see some interesting ways Singapore is trying to cool down. We will learn about big plans for buildings and parks. We will also see how they use new technology to find the best ideas. This story is about a city fighting the heat. It is about making a tropical city a comfortable place to live. It is about science and building smarter cities for everyone. 2. Why cities are hot. Have you ever noticed that cities feel warmer than the countryside? There is a reason for this. It is called the urban heat island effect. Think about the materials cities are made of. There are many roads, buildings, and roofs. These are often made of dark materials like concrete and asphalt. Dark colors take in more heat from the sun than light colors. Trees and plants, on the other hand, are lighter. They also provide shade. Green areas do not get as hot. So, when a city has a lot of dark roads and buildings but not many green spaces, it gets very hot. The sun shines down and the dark surfaces absorb the heat. They hold onto this heat, making the air warmer. Because of this, cities can be hotter than the areas around them. The difference can be several degrees. Imagine the temperature in the countryside is 28 degrees Celsius. In the nearby city, it might be 32 degrees or even more. This extra heat is like a hot island in the middle of a cooler area. That is why people call it an urban heat island. This problem of extra heat in cities is important. High temperatures can be bad for people's health. When it is very hot, people can get sick. Sometimes, during heat waves, the heat can even be very dangerous and cause death. Heat waves can be more dangerous than some other types of bad weather. As more people live in cities around the world, this urban heat island effect is a big challenge. It makes cities less comfortable and can be a risk to everyone living there. Finding ways to make cities cooler is something many people are working on. It is a problem that needs good ideas and careful planning. 3. Cooling with water. Cities need clever ways to stay cool, especially when they are very hot places. One very big and important idea is called district cooling. Imagine one large building or place that has a powerful machine. This machine works to cool a lot of water. This place is like the central point of the whole system. From this central point, a network of strong pipes goes under the ground, like hidden pathways. These pipes carry the cold water to many buildings in the area. Think about all the different buildings you see in a busy city. There are tall office towers where people work every day, large shopping malls with many shops and restaurants, places for big events like exhibitions, and even hotels where people stay and homes where they live. Instead of every single one of these buildings having its own separate cooling system, they can all connect to the central district cooling system. The cold water travels through the pipes and enters these buildings. Inside the buildings, the cold water helps to make the air cool and comfortable for the people inside. After the water has been used for cooling, it becomes warmer. This warmer water then travels back through other pipes under the ground to the central place. There it is cooled down again by the powerful machine, ready to start the journey once more. It is a continuous cycle, using water to move the cold energy from one place to many others. This is a very large system, working hard all the time. Why is this method good for a city? A very big advantage is that it saves a lot of electricity. Using one large, efficient cooling machine is much better than using hundreds or thousands of smaller air conditioning units on many different buildings. Buildings that use a district cooling system can use much less electricity for cooling. For example, some buildings might use about 40% less electricity than if they used their own cooling machines. Saving this much energy is very helpful for the city and the world. When we use less energy from power plants, they often produce less pollution. This makes the air cleaner and is better for the planet and for people's health. Also, having the main cooling work done in one place, often hidden underground, means there are fewer noisy machines outside buildings. This helps make the city a quieter and nicer place to be. This single system can cool many different types of places, from office buildings and banks to residential towers and large entertainment complexes. It is a smart and powerful way to provide cooling on a large scale. This big system, using cold water traveling underground, is a key part of how a hot city can fight the heat and stay comfortable for everyone. It helps save energy and protect the environment at the same time. It is a clever use of technology and planning to make the city cooler. 4. The world is getting hotter. The world is changing. It is getting warmer. This is a big problem for everyone, not just cities. When the world gets hotter, people feel uncomfortable. They feel too warm inside their homes and offices. So what do people do? They use machines to cool down. Air conditioners are very common machines for this. Refrigerators also help keep things cool, like food. More and more people around the world are buying and using these machines. But here is a problem. These machines need a lot of energy to work. Where does this energy come from? Often, it comes from power plants that burn fuel. Burning fuel can make the air dirty. It can also put gases into the air that trap heat. These are the gases that make the world warmer. So when more people use air conditioners and refrigerators, they use more energy. Making this energy can put more heat-trapping gases into the air. This makes the world even hotter. It is like a cycle that is difficult to stop. The world gets hotter, so people use more cooling machines. Using more cooling machines uses more energy. Making this energy makes the world hotter again. This cycle is a big challenge for cities and countries everywhere. Think about how much energy is needed for cooling. Today, many places use a lot of energy just for air conditioning. In the future, maybe in the year 2050, the world could use more than 1/3 of all its energy just to cool buildings and cars. This is a very large amount of energy. It shows how big the problem is. This difficult cycle of heat and energy use affects the whole planet. It is a reason why scientists and city planners are looking for new ways to stay cool without making the world even warmer. Finding solutions is important for the future of our planet and for how comfortable people can be. 5. Green buildings and parks. Nature has a big power to help make cities cooler. We know that cities often feel much hotter than areas outside the city. This is because things like roads and buildings made of concrete and stone take in a lot of the sun's heat. They hold this heat and make the city warmer. But nature, with its green plants and trees, works differently. Trees and plants are very important for cooling a city. One main way they help is by giving shade. Think about standing under a tall tree on a sunny day. You feel the cool shade. The tree's many leaves stop the sun's strong rays from hitting the ground or the surfaces below. This keeps the ground and the air under the tree much cooler than in places with no shade. It acts like a natural roof or a large umbrella, protecting the city from the sun. Plants also have another special way to cool the air. They use water from the soil and release it into the air through their leaves. This process is called evapotranspiration. When water changes from a liquid to a gas in the air, it uses heat. This takes heat away from the area around the plant, making the air cooler. So places with many trees and plants naturally have cooler air because of this cooling effect. In cities, where space is often limited, people are finding smart ways to add more green areas. Parks with lots of trees and plants are important, but we can do more. One good idea is to put gardens and plants on the roofs of buildings. These are called green roofs. A green roof has soil and plants on top of the normal roof. This layer of nature helps to keep the building cooler inside by stopping the sun's heat from coming through the roof. It also helps to cool the air outside the building. Another way is to add plants to the walls of buildings. These are called green walls or living walls. Like green roofs, green walls can help shade the building walls and cool the air next to them. They also make the city look more beautiful. Using nature in these ways is a powerful tool to fight the heat in cities. Green buildings and parks bring many benefits. They make the city feel more comfortable and pleasant. They help lower the temperature of the city air. They also bring nature back into the busy urban environment, which is good for people's health and happiness, and good for the local environment. Adding more green spaces is a key part of making cities cooler and better places to live. It uses the natural power of plants to help reduce the heat. This is one important step in dealing with the challenge of a hot city. 6. A city in a garden. Singapore had a special idea for its city a long time ago. In the year 1967, a leader named Lee Kuan Yew had a vision. He wanted Singapore to be a garden city. The main goal was to make the city a better and more pleasant place for all the people who live there. This early idea was the start of Singapore becoming known as one of the greenest cities in the world today. It was not just about looking nice, it was about improving life. We can see this garden city vision in many modern buildings and places across Singapore now. One good example is a building named Kampung Admiralty. This building is a community hub. It has different services inside, like health clinics and places for people to meet and do activities together. What is special is that this building provides even more green space than the area of land it was built on. It has gardens and green areas on different levels, especially on its roof. These roof gardens are beautiful and useful. They have plants and trees, and there are even small farm plots where people living nearby can grow their own vegetables or herbs. It feels like a park in the sky, right on top of the building. Another amazing example is a hotel called Parkreal on Pickering. When this hotel was designed, the idea was to make it look and feel like a garden. It has a large amount of green space. In fact, it has about 15,000 square meters of green areas. This includes gardens that are high up, like sky gardens, as well as pools of water, small waterfalls, and walls completely covered in plants. It is truly a building that is integrated with nature, doubling the amount of green space that was there before it was built. The government in Singapore is still working hard on this idea. They have big plans for the future to make the city even greener. One of their main goals is to plant 1 million more trees all around Singapore. This is a very large number of trees. They plan to do this over the next 10 years. They also plan to create many more green areas in different parts of the city. This continued effort is important for several reasons. First, adding more trees and plants helps to cool down the city air. This makes the city more comfortable for people. Second, having more green spaces helps people connect with nature. Being close to nature can make people feel calmer and happier. It is also good for the environment in general. Singapore's journey to become a garden city is a long and ongoing story. It started with an idea many decades ago and is still a big focus today. It shows how a busy, modern city can also be a place where nature is important and present. They are finding creative ways to put gardens and green spaces into buildings and across the urban landscape. This benefits both the environment and the people living in the city. It highlights the value of plants and trees for building a better future for cities. 7. More smart ideas. Cooling a big city is not easy. It needs many good ideas working together. We learned about using water and planting trees, but there are other smart ways to help a city stay cool. One simple idea is to stop the sun from coming in through windows. Windows let a lot of heat into buildings. If you put something outside a window, like a small roof or a special screen, it can block the direct sun. This means the building inside stays cooler without using a lot of air conditioning. It is like wearing a hat on a sunny day. Another idea is about wind. Wind can help move hot air away and bring cooler air. City planners can design streets and buildings so that wind can blow through the city easily. If buildings are too close or too tall in certain places, they can stop the wind. Leaving open spaces or planning how buildings stand can make a big difference in letting the air move freely. This natural movement helps cool the air around the buildings and streets. The materials used for buildings and roads are also important. Dark colors like black or dark gray take in a lot of heat from the sun. Think about wearing a black shirt on a hot day. Light colors like white or light gray send the sun's heat away. Using lighter colors for roofs and walls means they do not get as hot. This helps keep the buildings and the air around them cooler. Clean energy is another part of the plan. The machines that make buildings cool often use a lot of electricity. If this electricity comes from power plants that burn fuel, it can make the world warmer. Using clean energy, like power from the sun, does not make the world warmer. Solar panels can be put on the roofs and sides of buildings. These panels make electricity from sunlight. Using this sun power helps cool the city in a clean way. These are just some of the extra ideas cities can use. Shading windows, helping wind move, using light colors, and using sun power are all different ways to fight the heat. When many ideas work together, they can make a big city much more comfortable for the people living there. 8. A plan for the future. The city has many ideas to fight the heat. There are green plants, cool water systems, and smart building designs. But which ideas are the best? Which ones will help the most? To find out, people in Singapore use a special tool. It is a big computer picture of the city. They call it a digital twin. Think of it like a copy of the city inside a computer. This digital twin is very clever. It knows about the buildings, the roads, the parks, and even the weather. It can show how hot different places are. City planners use this tool to test their ideas. Before they build something new, they can try it in the digital twin. They can see what happens to the temperature. Does adding a park make the area cooler? Does a new building block the wind? This helps them choose the best plans. They can test many different ideas quickly and easily. They can see which plans will make the city cooler and save energy. Using this digital twin is a smart way to plan. It takes the science they have learned and puts it to work. Singapore is using this scientific way to make decisions for the future. This way of planning can help other cities too. Cities all over the world can learn from Singapore. They can use similar tools to test their own ideas for cooling or even heating. By testing plans first, cities can make better choices. They can save money and energy. This helps to make the world a little cooler. Singapore's plan for the future is to keep using science and smart tools like the digital twin. This will help them build a cooler and more comfortable city for everyone who lives there. It shows how science and planning can work together to make a better world.